How have you been? How have you been? I think we need to get a drink. I think we do. Uh-huh. Yeah, let's do that. So whoever gets in the room, I know it's late. It's really late, isn't it? Holy smokes. I was supposed to be on. I was doing all this damn research and that. Wow. I should have called this video of one accord. That's what I should have done, but I didn't. Let me go get a drink. All right. All right. How's everybody been tonight? I hope you're doing well. Appreciate all the comments in the last video. Hopefully my stream doesn't act up like it did the other night or last night. And let me get my blades out. But yeah. Oh, man. It's gonna be deep, buddy. Hello, Susan Donahue. How have you been? So essentially, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you. At least for the people that know, early in the game, you have to remember on October 5th, I do believe it was, of 2017, the big T-man, he made a statement when he was with some military people. And he said, calm before the storm. I'm sure a lot of you remember that. And the press was on him. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, you're about to see what it means. I know what it means. And hopefully I can share it with you without, upsetting Uncle Algo. And here's the thing. A lot of you will not believe this. A lot of you will not believe the information I'm going to share. And because of my crazy reputation online, because I'm, not quite, I've lost my cool quite a few times on video, and have actually done a lot of productions and a lot of short films, and then music videos, and then collaborations, and then I've done some really, interesting and creative stuff. All right, and it's not bad. It's just creative, and a lot of people can't. Are you buffering again? Oh man, don't start that. Okay. Hopefully it's not going to start buffering. So a lot of you are not going to believe the information I'll share with you, but I'm going to give it a go. Chances are I'm going to lose my channel, which is fine. But let me burp this out before I lose my channel, or before this video disappears, or whatever it does. All of the media has stripped the big T-man of his social media, except one. That'd be YouTube. Why is that? You ever thought of that? Go check. I want you to. I thought that, something had to be done. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and start. I mean, why wait? I want you to, you know what this is all about. We've got it all broken down, and everybody know. But first of all, let me share this with you. Let's see if this is going to work. Let's go. Let's not do that. Let's go like that. Let's refresh. Okay, now let's go back. Let me go ahead and prove to you that in fact, the T-Man, there it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is my evidence that the T-Man is on Google. I thought that he was excused away from all media. I thought anybody that would provide him a platform would be terminated, like Parler, like Gab, like so many websites. What happened? Google's still here. Isn't that neat? You know, it's so strange when you think of Google, you think of an owl. Is that not right? Of course you do. Because you think of this, Googling, looking. That's what you think of. Let's go ahead and continue, ladies and gentlemen. So, has anyone checked that to verify that the information that I just shared, that the big T-Man, his official YouTube channel is up right now? I need verification. I don't want anybody taking my word for it. I want somebody to go verify that that is correct. This is very important. Is that correct, ladies and gentlemen? It is. It is. His YouTube channel is still up. Excuse me. Why didn't IANA and ICANN, why didn't they intervene? That's the group of governors. The International Consortium of Assigned Names and Numbers. Why didn't they strip away their IP address like they did Parler? Why not? Huh? We know why. And we're going to share it with you. Isn't that neat? Now let me tell you something. IANA and ICANN. You got the International Consortium of Assigned Names and Numbers and the International Assigned Names Authority. In other words, when you go to get a website, and I've had many, what happens is you purchase your website from GoDaddy, or you get it from whoever it is, 101 domains, whatever. And there's a little bit of a time there. You have to have what are called servers, so that way it's a hosting facility like Cloudflare. And then they provide you hosting, and then you hire individual webmasters, and they write all your coding and scripting, all that. You put up your information, whatever you do. Now, if you're naughty, to essentially have you stripped away was incredibly difficult to do back in the day. But these days, it's not incredible because you just have to Parler. Now we know what the whole thing is all about. And as you know, a lot of you know that, let's say the letter 17. Can everybody help me out who I'm talking about with the letter 17? Can anybody help me out there? Who I'm talking about with the letter 17? Because I can't take responsibility for what you type. No, it's buffering again. No buffering. That's right. Absolutely. That is correct. As a lot of you know, I'm the first person in the entire world that publicly stated what that was early in the game. Early. Because an individual by the name of Synthetic Rebellion took my video, created his own video, which I appreciated, telling you exactly what was not going to happen. And it never did. There were never any arrests. Never. Not once. Nope. Mm-mm. Do you know what Janus is? Janus. Janus. That is two faces. Let's go ahead and get into that, shall we? Yeah. Let's get into that. Oh no. Here it is right here, ladies and gentlemen. You'll love this. All these little clues all over the web. But we get them. We find them. because we know what this is about, finally. There it is right there. Can somebody verify that that is, in fact, positioned as the letter 17, as the two faces? Can anybody help me out with that? Anybody in the world? I need verification that is two faces. Below the two faces, it just happens to give you the letter 17. Just wondering if you could help me out with that. Does anybody know? 100%. There's 49. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. Matter of fact, 49. If nothing goes wrong with my internet, because old Creepy's sitting out there, you know, in the dark, revving up engines. That's good. I'm ready. Whatever. Okay, so does everybody agree with that? It's the darndest thing, isn't it? All right, let's go ahead and continue. All right. You guys are verifying for the people on the replay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of history. We're going to talk about elephants, horses, and dogs. Elephants, back in the old days, when they figured out a way to make chains, they would place the chains around the elephant's feet. Elephants have a perfect memory. They sure do. They can remember a face, a smell, an ambiance for 100 years. If you do something wrong to an elephant, they'll never forget it, and they'll always remember what you did. They're considered a prehistoric, not only prehistoric, but I wanted to say alien creature, but that's not quite the word for it. Okay? The thing is about the elephants, when you put the chains around their feet, and they're in herds, like there could be 30 elephants. Well, back in the day, to tame the elephants, they would place the chains around their feet. Well, of course, they'd try to get away, but they couldn't because they couldn't break the chain. You got me? So once that happened, even with their young, they would place the chains around the adults and the young. So after a certain course of time, they would take the chains off because it was cumbersome. It was hard to maintain the chains. It was hard to, make sure they didn't rust because they're obviously water and mud and the whole 9 yards. And they replaced it with rope. But you see, psychologically, they tamed the elephant because the elephant believed that it was a chain. It was a rope. There's one example. Now let's go to horses. You see, horses, they don't have the memory like the elephant does. However, they have sight, they have smell, they have, some sort of sense about them. Intuition, if you will, just a little bit. But they're not as smart as the elephant. But, of course, they can see and smell and know what's going on around them. And when you put a bridle in their mouth, you control the direction in which they go. But see, that's not a gear. That's flesh, right? That's an actual animal. So anyway, you do that, and then you have this thing around their neck, and you tie it off to a post. And all the other horses see that they're tied off at posts, and the other horses see they're tied off, and they see they're tied up, and they get it in their brains that they cannot get away because the post is actually stronger than they are. Once that happens, you take off the rope and you put it on a plastic chair. They could just walk out with a plastic chair, but they won't because they've been conditioned that they don't have the power to walk away with a chair. Now let's go to a dog. A dog is very loyal. It sure is. A dog is the type of creature that is a man's best friend. Same exact thing. You could have a pit bull, a Rottweiler, a boxer, a German Shepherd, a Doberman Pinscher. It doesn't matter what kind, a vicious animal that would rip you to shreds. But as long as you give him just enough little food, you pat him on the head when he does good, give him a little bit of entertainment, play ball with him, whatever he does, he will be so loyal to you. He sure will be. And he, knowing That dog, knowing that he could tear you into smithereens in 5 seconds, he won't do it because he's loyal to you. He's loyal to you. And he'll never bite you because you trained him that if you behave, we're going to play ball. If you behave, I'm going to feed you because you can't get up in the cupboards and feed yourself. I bring the food to you. I bring the water to you. You will not resist. And if you do, I'm going to put you out in that doghouse where you'll sit for 10 years. And maybe you won't have any water. Maybe you won't have any food. Did everybody understand what I just said? So you see, ladies and gentlemen, individuals can do that as well. It's called, instead of wielding a sword, you can wield the mind. You sure can. And I'm going to prove it to you. There are, in fact, they call them comics, but are they really comics? Who really knows? 8 stones of infinity. Yeah. Guess what the last stone just happens to be? Rhythm. Isn't that weird? Well, when you think of your heart has rhythm. Bum, 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 bum. When the rhythm gets out of beat and it goes too fast, you could have a heart attack and you're gone. If it goes too slow, same sort of thing. You could go into some sort of shock and a reverse condition. The human body is so fantastic like that. It has rhythm. You can count on it every time. As I'm talking to you, your heart is beating, my heart is beating, everybody's heart is beating. But guess what? Humans can wield the will over another human through hypnosis. You have to want to be hypnotized to be hypnotized. If you don't want to be hypnotized, chances are you won't be hypnotized. However, you can use LSD, DMT, all kinds of little drugs to kind of like pull you along the way to get you some sort of addiction. Right? And everybody has vices. I don't care what you think. Everybody on the planet has vices, and those vices are used against you to play you, to make sure that you do what the master is telling you to do. Because you would be so in fear that maybe someone would find out about your little secrets or who knows what. So you could have somebody that would jump out of a window rather than the sheer public embarrassment of whatever. And you can control what he would say, what he would do, at what time, every time. Guaranteed. Now, so we got that all set apart. Does everybody agree with the statements? Do you think I'm telling you the truth? Do you think it's all hogwash? Does that make sense? Is this true? Yes or no? If you disagree, please speak freely. God forbid, speak freely. Does everybody agree with that statement? Let's go ahead and read. I'll read your comments. All right. Let's see. Guy says yes. Jersey says facts. Okay. Amy says you're right. Okay. We're in trouble. Yes, sir. That's right. That's truth. Yes, 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 yes. That's correct. Okay. Let's go ahead and continue. So I really had to get that out of my head there so we could, basically move along. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, mods, if you didn't mind sharing with the class these numbers. This is the number 9. Let's go ahead and pull it up together, shall we? And everyone in the class can read it together. Number 9 is mentioned in the Bible, but not too often as some other numbers. This number is used in the Bible 49 times. It is biblical symbolism is considered to be very important. Number 9 is a symbol of completeness of God and also a symbol of finality. Wow, you got that right. Okay, so let's go ahead, seeing that we're going to continue on. And believe me, I'm a student too. It's just I'm a really good student because you know what helps me in life? Second sight. Isn't that neat? And you guys know I'm right because you've witnessed it with me, right? So here we go there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and go to number 8. The infinity symbol is a figure 8 on its side. But when you look at it this way, it still looks the same, right? Right. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's go to 7, shall we? Here we go. Let's go to number 7. Why is 7 the perfect number in the Bible? The Old Testament, the world was created in 6 days, and God reset on the 7th. That's why 7th is the perfect number. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and continue on. This is so important, this part right here, because I tell you what, when it comes to this part, we really know a lot about this part. Here we go. Let's go ahead and read that one. The Advanced Research Project Agency Network, ARPANET. I wonder what that is. Okay. TCP/IP protocol suite. Both technologies became the technical foundation of the internet. And 1975 Defense Communications. Isn't that the darndest thing? And you know who facilitated that the most, ladies and gentlemen? Can anybody guess in the class who facilitated that? Anybody know? It was Al Gore. Isn't that neat? This is why when you ask people who invented the internet, they will tell you Al Gore. But that's not right. No, it's not. That would be Timothy Lee that worked at CERN. Let's go ahead and pull that up to provide you the evidence. There we go. We've talked about this before, so I apologize if I'm reiterating. Tim Berners-Lee, a British scientist, invented the World Wide Web in 1989 while working at CERN. Wow, that's the darndest thing. Because you see, CERN, everybody that knows CERN, well, CERN, you know, it was started to get it all together in 1954, 1955. The conception, I think, was thought about in 1949. But all of the 64 scientists and the other nations didn't get together until 1955. All right, let's go ahead and continue. The graphic for this very video is the graphic for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Here we go. If these verses, if you know them, I'm glad you do, because I had to ask for help on the tweeters because I don't know these verses. So people help me out, and I appreciate it. I created the background graphic for this specific visual representation. However, can someone who knows this phrase tell me what it means? Well, let's look at the phrase. He strove with the angel and prevailed. He wept and sought his favor. He met God at Bethel. And there God spoke with us. Now, what I want you to do, ladies and gentlemen, this is so important. I want you to look at that graphic real closely, okay? Here we go. Let's look at it together. Forget what the words say and look at the graphic. What do we have on the graphic? We have the world. We have a ring around the world. We have another ring around the world. And one of the rings is bent a little with a circle and a note. That's a musical note. On the right-hand side, that is a belt buckle, Orion's belt. True story. On the other side, it's a helm where you steer a ship. Does everyone agree? And where is that at? That's a big, huge, monstrous pillar that you'd find at the Capitol and all. Does everybody agree with that? Does everyone agree with that image? Why is the music note very important? Because when you're creating music, you have to have rhythm. All of you, listen, I play keyboards my damn self. So you have to have some sort of tempo, like your heartbeat. This is why music that has a good beat are number one hits, because it replicates the beat of the heart. Boom, 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 boom. And you can relate psychologically and physically with that beat. You got me? True story. Now, why is that important? Well, let's go back to the 8 stones of infinity. The last stone to be obtained by the powers that be, I call them light lords for obvious reasons, was in fact infinity, or excuse me, was in fact rhythm of the 8 infinity stones. Rhythm. Now, we're going to go ahead and go backwards to Defense Communications of 1975. Yeah, we are. I already showed you that. Well, that was facilitated by who? Al Gore. Isn't it funny that they call it the algorithm? Neat, huh? I tried to show you that in yesterday's video about the 222, the bye, right? The seal, the crest. You see, it's language magic. It's language magic. This is why all of this time, I think this is maybe my 170th video, maybe, between all my channels, dealing with what's going on in the world. Haven't lost one. Well, why not? Because I've figured out a way to beat the machine. And you know I have. While everybody else, oh, there goes RFB, off he goes. There goes Mr. Decker, off he goes. This one, he lost 2 channels, but he came back. This one, because I understand how it works for real. See how that works? All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. Algorithm. If you take the rhythm part and you just go ithm, it's Al Gore. See how that works? In other words, it's on purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, I need some help with this, and maybe the class can help me out. I already know the answer. I just want to know of what political affiliation was Al Gore. Can somebody help me out? Can somebody help me out? That's exactly right. That's right. That's right. That's correct. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're catching on. This is great, man. This is fantastic. Because I can incorporate IPG directly with the 1975, with the 1955. The law of fives. Yes, I can, directly. Okay, hold on a second. And all of you guys are going to see them right. I'm glad 49's in here. Oh, because, listen, 49, that image you gave me with the flag with the 1 star, that's in fact Texas. You're going to love this, okay? Okay, here we go. Not to sound paranoid, I know I'm being watched, and it's okay, and I don't mind. Because you have to remember, there's all of these games that are being played. Again, we've talked about this in the past. What do you do when you have all the money in the world? What do you do when you have every yacht you could ever float on, every car you could ever drive, every house you could ever live in, every plane you could ever fly? What do you do next? Games, buddy. It's all about the games. So this is a game to them, buddy. Except this is the game for keeps. And it's quite frightening. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, does anybody know who CONUS is? CONUS. Does anyone know who CONUS is? Somebody help me out? All you people in the Bible who are, no snacks tonight, buddy. This is very serious business. Who is CONUS? Can somebody help me out? CONUS. 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 Come on. No, not CONUS. No. I'm sorry. I'm messing up. Cronus, I think it is. You'll have to excuse me. I don't know your book that well. Is it Cronus, the keeper of time? Oh, check this out. And this is going to be for all of you older people like me. I'm 57. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that just a clinky dinky right there? Let's go ahead and look at it. Wow. Let's pull it up, shall we? Huh. Time attendance system, time tracking software. By who? Cronus. But it's spelled with a K. Imagine that. Isn't that neat? So why is that important? Because, ladies and gentlemen, the light lords have intentionally, and I mean intentionally, incorporated Roman everything with our lives. Our calendar, our numbers, right? The stars, the statues. Oh man, through music and media, every media that you could, every classification you can imagine. But they have the type of attitude that life is a box. Remember the box of chocolates? No, when you talk to the Native American Indian, what is it about, ladies and gentlemen? The Native American Indian is very, very important. And I know this as well because the Native American Indian has the actual attitude that it's the four directions of Earth, not the four corners. Four corners would be Colorado, Texas, New Mexico, and Utah, I think. So let me go ahead and give you this. Let's go ahead and look at there we go. And here's the funniest thing. If you look at the first image, it looks like a heart on the top and a heart on the bottom. But at the adjoining moment of north-south is a hypocycloid. Wow, that's funny because there was a hypocycloid, many of them in I Bet Goat. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And on one of those Native American Indians that was dancing around in an IPG, he just happened to have a little raccoon tail coming from his ankle. We noticed that. You know what's strange is you had this dude with these horns, and he had like raccoon-looking tails. So what a quinky dink. I'm sure it is. No, it's not. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's hard to keep up. I need to, get this done in case I lose signal or get a knock on the door. Here we go right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is from Silent Running, Mike and the Mechanics. We talked about gears yesterday. It's all about the gears. Got to have the gears to make things work in conjunction with each other. All right, so let's go ahead and look at that. Mods, kick anybody out that's being naughty. Okay. We are on dangerous ground. That was the name of Mike and the Mechanics. That was the name of the album that was put out, I believe it was in 1985. I'm pretty sure it might have been 86, but it was in the mid-80s. Okay, so when you look at the first one, what is the key? The key is being handed off to who? The next generation. Wow, that's weird. Let's go to the next image, shall we? Oh, he's going up the stairs, kind of like Stairway to Heaven. And I'm being honest about that. It's not a joke, man. Now what do we do? Oh, he's got the light there. You got all that mist and fog and all that weird stuff. And then what is the ultimatum? Oh, there's a cube there. And who pops out of there? It's like, hey, Tommy, I'm your father. Your father told me to give you this and all this stuff. Father. When you think of the Lord, you think of Father. Do you not? Yes, you do. Absolutely guaranteed. Right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is quite creepy, but it is absolutely a fact. Our good friend over there, our good friend Madonna, that's Madam X. X equals 24. Isn't that strange? Well, the big T man, he signed some sort of supposedly executive order from the 11th to the 24th. Why did he stop at the 24th? Because X equals 24. You'll see what I mean. Here we go. There you go, right there. You see that? When you pull this up, now this came from a Madonna video that was just uploaded for real on January 7th of 2021. when that was the 2012 Super Bowl halftime show. What? True story. Isn't that creepy? I know it's not. Look at the 25 sitting up there. That's in the video itself. I didn't put it there. It's there. Haven't they been talking about 25 the whole time? The insurrection, excuse me, I'm sorry, the article of impeachment and we got to pull the 25th Amendment and all that garbage. It's been all on the news. It's everywhere. Has everyone been hearing we got to do the 25th Amendment? And what are those things? They're feathers. And what has been known, the feather there, right? The pen. Back in the old days, you know, presidents and that, they'd sign things with pen with ink on them, see? And then you'd have all these little comments by Pelosi over there about, you know, what the hell she said about the quivers and the quails, and it's just strange. Okay, hang on a second. So there's one right there. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. And believe me, I got the timestamp on there. If you want to enlarge that, you're welcome to. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is another fragment from that 2012. Here we go right there, ladies and gentlemen, from the 2012. There it is right there. I hope I can get all this out before anything goes down. Oh, look. Look who posted the video January 7th about the event that happened 8 years ago. There's that 8 again. Football. Gears. Look at the gear right there. You have an M, and then you have in other words, she's walking up to it, and it looks like an M for her. Got this? And in doing so, go ahead and put this right here. In doing so, I'm going to go ahead and write it out for you so you see it. Because I can see it in my mind, but you might not be able to see it in your mind. All right. So that is, in fact, a gear. Does everyone agree that that is, in fact, a gear? Because when you watch the video, it's moving round and round and round and round. It's so cute. No, it's not. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the type thing that you see, and then there's like a hole there, or a circle is sitting right there. Huh. So when she's walking up on it, it looks like that with a circle, right? But here's the thing. When she's walking away, it looks like a W. See what I mean? So in other words, if you mirror the M, it turns into a W. But if you turn it sideways, it looks like a 33. Isn't that weird? No, it's not. Because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to take a 3. There's a 3 right there. And then I'm going to mirror the 3. And guess what we're going to get? We're going to get an 8. Isn't that the weirdest thing? They're all about their mirrors. Let's go ahead and continue, shall we? Now, this copy. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, mods. I don't mean to be shaking you up here. Here we go right here, ladies and gentlemen. That was in the music video as well. And what is that? That's a watch, guaranteed fact. That's a compass of time. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely guaranteed. Well, big deal. Who cares? I care, because time is everything. And the word vogue means exactly the prevailing fashion or style at a particular time. So in other words, you can say, oh man, I remember that song in 1981. Oh, I love that song. And it brings you back psychologically to that time. Does that make sense? I'm sure it does. I mean, you know, I don't want you to think I'm talking down to you, because I certainly am not. Okay. And I truly am not. Now let's go ahead and go to this one. We're going to go back to the allegory. This is in the same video. Mods, if you didn't mind sharing these so everybody in the class can see them. If you look at that, ladies and gentlemen, what is that? Oh, there are 2 speakers that come up. And what is that going on? That's a frequency. That's rhythm. Boom, boom, boom. And it's going with the music, got all the little pretty lights and all that stuff. Right? So that is incorporation with the heart, for sure. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the big potatoes. Now it's going to get really interesting. This, ladies and gentlemen, right there, if you can share the links. I'm sorry I'm going so fast. I'm just trying to get it out before, I lose signal or whatever. That is the United States Bible Belt. We've talked about that before. You got a metal protector in one hand and a Bible in the other hand. And that is the fiercest force in the United States, technically. It certainly is, and they know it. Okay, so what states are there? Well, they happen to be Texas, Oklahoma, and then, of course, you got Arkansas sitting up there. And then you got Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Kentucky, and you probably have, a little bit over there in Kansas. It's pretty much really in the heart of Texas, right? That's your Bible Belt. In other words, those are the people, for the most part, that are not going to put up with these sorts of changes that are coming, which means, actually, the United States is going to have a female president, for sure. That's a guaranteed fact. I don't know if we'll be around for it or not. I'm not really sure, but we're going to get to that. We're going to do what this was all about. Okay, for real. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Now we have this fella here. If you remember, the big T man, he wanted you to text him. Here we go right here, ladies and gentlemen. Mods, if you didn't mind sharing the link. Here we go with that. And what is that? Now I better take this off. What is that? That's 8022. He wants you to text him on that. Well, that's 88. Huh, that's strange. 88. That's like two infinities. What's really strange about his Tweeters account, we already proved that to you yesterday, is that he had 88,000,000.8 followers. Huh, strange. No, it's not. All right, let's go ahead and go to this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is from a movie. I'm sure all y'all are aware of it. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of laughs, and I hope somebody laughs about it because you won't be laughing soon. You don't have long to wait. This is from Donnie Darko. You got 28 days, 6 hours, 42, 12, blah, 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 blah. And it says right there, taken from IMDb trivia, entry for Donnie Darko, the movie takes place in 1988. Another coinkydink. Here's the 88. And wasn't in Back to the Future is all about going 88 miles an hour? Yeah, it was. Let's go ahead and continue. Frank tells Donnie the world is going to do something naughty in that time frame. If you add these numbers all together, it just happens to equate to 88. Oh, that's strange. Because if you type in Trump into Gematria, you get 88. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Everyone in the research circles have known this for years and years. I'm not telling you anything new. This is just what I'm trying to explain to the people that don't know. Because I'm going to share some information you've never seen all your life. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the actual story that Donnie Darko was derived from. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. Maybe just, it's called Watershed Down. Watershed is down. And it's about what? Oh, a bunch of bunnies. They're all running around that. And all of a sudden, some things happen and they see some mist coming through and it starts storming and lightning and all that. Is kind of really scary. And they start seeing things and hallucinating or whatever they're doing. And because of these hallucinations and this illusion, they get extremely, let's say they're not happy with each other. I'll put it that way. Because, Uncle Algo, he's always listening and watching all that stuff. But you know what's really strange about that, ladies and gentlemen, is, well, when you go ahead and use this thing called the memory, let's go ahead and go to the story that was written about it back in the day. And I'll go ahead and read my statement about that. Here comes the next link. Mods, I appreciate you. I apologize for going so fast. I'm just trying to get it all out. Here we go right here. This is the same story. They did a big old write-up about it, how Donnie Darko in association with that, what it's all about. It's called the Watershed Down. Kind of like the Storm Act that was signed on January 1st, kind of like that. Kind of like the New York water sector runaway video that was published in 2013, kind of like that. Strange, huh? Yeah, it is very strange. Let's go ahead and continue. Now, ladies and gentlemen, who is it by any chance? It is right here. Go ahead and get this one. We're going back to Donnie Darko. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. There it is right there. Let's pull that up. And we got how Donnie Darko's Frank, that's, Bunny. Frank became the ultimate outsider. This was published on October 26th of 2016, and it's called Watership Down is such an integral part of the storyline for Donnie Darko. So I'm proving to you that that is the case. That's all I'm trying to do. But ladies and gentlemen, who on earth is Frank? Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the creme of the la creme of all of it put together. Frank and Donnie Darko just happened to be, let's go ahead and pull it up together and I'll read some to you. Oh, you're going to love this one. Just lots of fun on this one. That just happened to be the godfather of liberalism. What? Yeah, that would be Franklin D. Roosevelt. He actually won 4 terms. Is that amazing or what? Wow. Let's read a little bit, shall we? Franklin Delano Roosevelt, January 30th, 1882 to April 12th of 1945. When you read all of this, it talks about, those things you do every couple of years and such, where all the people go in there and they make a little mark. I know you figured it out. You got to be careful what you say, because I want this video to stay up for the class. Now, if you read it all in there, it comes to this situation where, we are working with, the British, of course, and, we were taking on the Germans, and then we had a declaration with Japan. We sure did. And it is a big mess. Anyway, there was these 2 things that decided to go like that. One of them was, can somebody help me out? It happened in Japan. There's 2 of them. Let's see. It's one starts with an N, and another one starts with an H. Oddly enough, so strange. See how that works? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly. That's exactly what they were called up north of 49. She has it exactly perfectly right. Yes, she does. Yeah, that's true. True story. Wow. That's the darndest thing. Now, let's go ahead and go back. And I know that this sounds so fantastic. And it just sounds absolute like hogwash. But when you get a chance, go ahead and look at, Frank over there. And he'll kind of tell you along about, his history in that. Now, what I did was I decided to pull up the family crest of Frank. Well, this isn't Frank's family crest. However, it came from Wiki Commons. It sure did. Let's go ahead and look at it together, shall we? In association with Frank. That's how I got it. So let's pull it up. Oh, look, it says, remember the Alamo. There's a 1 star. There's 1 star there. Kind of like an IPG. Sure was. Then we got another star. It's got 1, 2, 3. Let's see, another flag has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars. Oh, darndest thing. Then you got another flag here. It's drooped over, and you got this thing that was on some float, I believe in New York City, with a big T-man. Maybe it was in Italy. I'm not sure. Look at all the spears sitting there. That's the darndest thing, isn't it? Oh, look, you got that bridge over troubled waters, right? Then you got that thing there on wheels. What would that be? Exactly. And what does it say? Remember the Alamo? Huh. You know what's really, really interesting about that? Guess where Trump's going to be tomorrow? Try to imagine how many little towns there would be all over the United States, in all 50 states. Try to imagine how many little towns would be everywhere. Let's see, which would it be? He's going to be in the Alamo tomorrow. You believe that? There's a CNN report right there. Amazing, isn't it? No, it's not. So what I'm trying to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is these are the facts. For a very long time, for I don't know if it's a substantial amount of time, but the T-Man was himself a D. He sure was, and everybody knows it. True story. His dad's middle name just happens to be Christ. That's also a true story. His mother, I believe, or his aunt or somebody, is named Mary. Wow, there's so many quinky-dinks. Now, this is what I need to post to you here because I want to do it live. I didn't want to, give it all away. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a pinned comment. And we're going to go ahead and read this one to you, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Let's go ahead and read this. In Roman mythology, Quirinus is an early god of Roman state in Augustine Rome. Quirinus was also the epithet of Janus as Janus Quirinus. His name is derived from Quiris, meaning spear. Really? That's the darndest thing. Because when you look, and I'm not even going to say anything on this post because you're going to be able to figure it out. When I started looking for the crest for, the big T-Man's name, this is what I come up with. It's just the darndest thing. Here it is right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's right there. You know what? Let's go ahead and look at that together, shall we? Look at that. That's a dude holding a spear. You imagine that? And what's that? It looks like a rope that is around what you'd see at a dock, right? Post. And what's that? Oh, that looks like a diamond. You can't see the other part of it because it's being concealed by the post, right? Integratus, integrity. That's the darndest thing. Well, if for all you people out there that did all of your, did all of your research back in the day, there was video of the big T-Man, and he was dancing with some guy named Jeffrey. I bet you can figure out his last name. Starts with an E, ends with an N. And they're just dancing along and carrying on. There's video of that, right? Yeah. I don't know when that was taken because I'm not really sure. I don't follow those kind of whatever. But at the very, very end, what was the big T-Man doing at all the rallies? He was, in fact, dancing, was he not? Did he have rhythm? I'm not sure. A lot of people made a bunch of, comments and complaints about how he didn't have any rhythm. So what I'm trying to say to you here is, let me give you one more post, just one. Just one. It's just, it's just another coinky-dink, just another really weird one. All right? Just a very, very strange coinky-dink. Let me go ahead and pull this right here. Someone pointed it out that it is, in fact, a 7. I do agree with them now, after pulling up in my Adobe Photoshop. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is right here. Let me go ahead and give you this link. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is from Donnie Darko. This is medicine. This is actual medicine. And as you can see, the pharmaceutical company, it looks like win. Kind of like what you do in a game. If you want to be on the winning team, then you're going to do everything necessary to win. All right. So here it is, 724.88. There's another 88. It's a darn, what a quinky dink. Then you got 2 caps 2 times. I'll explain that in a minute. And then you got, here it again, it says, if you look really close, down below, it says 724.88 again. Repeats it. Well, and then you got 25. 25 is 25 milligrams. And isn't it, Ben, haven't you heard all the rage about, putting in the 25th Amendment, having some dude removed? Yes, you have. And isn't it funny that if you wanted to text the man, you would text him at 88022? Isn't that strange? Wow. What a quinky dink. That is so bizarre, isn't it? No, it's not. No, it's not. And what's Donnie Darko? What's the whole story about? Well, it's all about, traveling in time, so to speak. Or the illusion of traveling in time. So what does that mean? 2 caps 2 times. Hold on. Here we go. I thought I was done, but I'm not. Apparently I'm not. I forgot two other ones. I don't know why I forgot to show them to you. Here we go. These are custom graphics that I made, but I'm going to show you the hidden message because, I can. Hold on. Let's get to it. This is the first graphic. But I've been telling you guys about this for a long time because of second sight. I've been telling you this for actually a couple of years, okay? Without telling you. I mean, you can read between the lines. Let's go ahead and take a peek at it. That is an image of a crow. Crows and ravens, well, a lot of people don't consider them very positive creatures. But it's a watchful eye over the Capitol. So that's the first one. And as you see, that's Illuminati, and you got the 11, the whole 9, right? So we put it up today. Or yesterday, rather. Now let's go to the second one. Second one's pretty important. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Here we go. I made a reversal because I know how much they like to do their little mirrors and that. We've been studying forever. Okay, here we go. So let's take a peek at that one. Oh, the Almighty stated the future and will be once again witnessed by millions. Pull up the graphic, click on the graphic, and you're going to see the raven or the crow sitting there. And in real light color, I've made 7070. That's on purpose, by the way. I'll get to that in a second. Let's go ahead and read what this is. It says, thank God this exploded into the open, Francis said. Yeah, the Pope said that just the other day. Can you imagine that? That's a darndest thing. Let's see, according to the news service. So it can be seen, so it can be remedied. Now he's talking about the Capitol. Really? Yeah, he really is. Now check this out. I know this is kind of bizarre. Well, it appears somebody going to have to run it in time calculator, which I did. There's a certain incident that occurred in September in New York, back in 2001. The same year that Donnie Darko was also recorded, in 2001. And that movie came out in that year. Not that it means anything because you just drop the zeros and you'd end up with 21, which is an exact replicate of this year. Anyway, so Yeah. So if you take that date and then you advance it to, I believe it's January 18th, January 18th of this year, you're going to have 7,070 days. Drop the zeros, give you 7,7. That means the second point of perfection. And we already went over the numbers before. 2 caps, 2 times. In association with what the Pope said, in association with all of the media that has been burping all this stuff out, all you people that think I'm crazy, oh, I'm not crazy. No, I'm not. Because this is the game. And that is the game. And you know what? I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm praying that I'm wrong on all of this. I know I'm not. No, I'm not. Because as far as the Capitol is concerned, I've been seeing that for years. And I've been telling you, and you know I have. For the people that stuck with me as long as you have, you know I've been telling you that for years. Because I've seen it happen. Sure did. So I tell you what, I'm willing to make a bet, ladies and gentlemen. A wager, a friendly wager. I don't know, a couple of dirty socks or something. Something that everybody has. If I can see you, if I can go live on the 25th of January, I will take suggestions for my payback of getting this wrong, but it's not wrong because 24 is X. You got that? That's why Madonna did that extravagant video, Madam X, because 24 is X, if you get my meaning. In other words, the T-Man wrote today yesterday on the 11th. He wrote it from the 11th to the 24th. Didn't you find that odd? Well, now you know why. It's bad news, dude. This is bad news. So there's my presentation. Do you people think I've lost my mind? Or did you understand the entire 49? What do you think? What do you think? Is it right or is it wrong? In other words, who was 17? Clinton. Still. Yep. Still. Does everybody got it? So here's another thing I want to listen. There's, even if this video gets deleted or whatever, there's at least 1,436 people that chances are we're pals, and maybe we're not. Maybe a couple of, I don't even care. Okay, this is why I don't think I've looked at a troll video in 2 weeks, because I don't care. Because you know what, my country is a little bit more important than a bunch of crybabies bickering about some nonsense that I don't care about. Okay. For real. This is so incredibly important, ladies and gentlemen. It is. Because we are talking about some really, really rotten stuff. Oh, and by the way, AJ is still bought. Let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. Why didn't AJ go to what happened at the Capitol? I'm just curious. When he's always, so boisterous to go out to all these, get-togethers. But you mean to tell me the biggest one in history, he dips out? No. Like I said, a lot of people call me his arch enemy. Now you know why. Because I know his BS. I've been around as long as he has, and he knows I have. That's why he doesn't talk about me. He wouldn't dare. Because he knows I'd call him up on his phone. I'd come to his house because I ain't afraid of him. And he knows I would. See, other words, what do you say there, 49? It's important that you got going on there. Remember the Ravens in IPG. I noticed that the Crows love hanging around. Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, here's the thing I want to talk about. I don't want to start picking on anybody on the net, all right? Here's the main thing. A lot of this is going to be based on illusion. A lot of this is going to be based on illusion. So what I'm trying to say to you is you have this is just a thought. I'm going to call it a thought because I don't want to call it the other thing because it might trigger an outcome. So it's just a thought. But you have this thing called the Bible Belt. The Bible Belt is comprised of millions and millions and millions of people that love the Lord. They got a metal protector in one hand and they got the Bible in the other hand. And they're sticking with it. And they're not budging from it no matter what you say because they believe. The problem is all of these people were tricked. Yes, they were. They were tricked. Absolutely tricked. For sure. Guaranteed. They just don't know it, but they were. All right? In other words, listen, you can't, if I'm not mistaken, somebody told me the other day when I was talking to them on the phone, they said, now, Monty, listen to me. I know more about that Bible than anybody on the planet. I'm like, I doubt that. He says, listen to me closely. In the Bible itself, it's stated not to, I'm paraphrasing because I don't know what it says, but he says, in the book itself, it says, man is not to worship another man like a deity. Never, ever. Because if you do, you're going to be let down probably every time. Something in that area. I'm paraphrasing. Is that right or is that wrong? Maybe he didn't tell me the right story. Is that correct? Is it not correct? I don't know. I don't know about you guys' book. You know more about it than I do. Is that correct or is that wrong or is that right? You're not to idolize anyone except him. Is that right? All right, Miss Tree says, yes, that is correct. Kat says, yes, that is correct. I'm not talking about in Hebrew. We're not talking about that. Okay? Yes, yes, perfect, perfect, right, right, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so that is correct. So what I'm trying to say is, God love all you guys that help me out because your comments are helping me find and go other directions and find information and know history and all that stuff. The thing is, AJ right now over there at Info Snacks is trying to fan the flames, telling people to go to their banks and wipe them all out. That's going to, I'm going to tell you what that's going to do. That's going to force the banks go into a thing, what is called a bank holiday. That means all the banks nationwide would just shut down. They would shut everything down. You couldn't get gas, you couldn't buy this, you couldn't buy this because the electronic system would be shut down, the fintech would be shut down, financial technology would be shut down, and then the bank would be shut down. Well, this is why I worry about AJ at Info Snacks, because when he starts fanning that flame, the word gets all over the web that quick. And then people panic, which you should never panic, ever. Even if your adversary is breaking down your door, oh, you know what to do next. Just all you can do is the best you can do. Okay? Don't be afraid. I mean, you'll probably be afraid, but what I'm saying is don't panic. If you stay calm, buddy, you're going to make it. You're going to make it. I swear. And if you don't make it, then you know what? Between you and your Lord, you're going to know you tried the best that you could try for you and your family. That's good advice. That's fantastic. That is, in my opinion, that's a fantastic thought because I truly believe in that. You're going to be the best that you can be if you do not panic. So, trying to think what else. So he was saying stuff like that. Oh, but stock up on this and stock up on that. And that's not a bad idea. There's another thing. It's all to do with the water. Okay. So there's a couple of different scenarios I'm thinking about that could be accomplished. And they're not very happy. It's not really a good thing. But at the same time, I don't know for sure. You got me? I don't know for sure. But I do know this, that it is very, very possible that an illusionary mechanism may come to play. And that could be aerial speakers. And I don't know if you've ever seen these things, these holograms, but they look real. When you couple that with EAS that are out in your towns. In other words, the speakers for like tornadoes and stuff. And you couple that with sounds coming from there, but everywhere, not to mention balloons or, you know, who knows what, aircraft, or pick something. You would believe that something was real. You certainly would. Because here's the thing, when you're watching a video, it doesn't matter where you are, what medium you're on, 98% of your video is your audio, because it gets you in the heart. If you see something sad, then you know what I mean? So all I'm just trying to do is I'm just trying to say a lot of it could be an illusion. So it's kind of like this. If you see something in front of you, make sure you go like this, because it may be an illusion. If you think it's real in your belief that it would be real, then your eyes can deceive you. Your emotions can deceive you, because it may not be real. Does that make sense? I know it makes sense to me. Not that I'm anyone. I'm no one. I'm nobody still. But I'm telling you, try not to panic. Is it going to get bumpy? Yeah, it's going to get real bumpy. Real bumpy, big time. It sure is, and they know it is. And here's the thing. In other words, what I'm getting to is the T-Man. He wants you to keep believing. He does want you to do that. All the way to the end. But here's the thing: are you going to do that? It depends on what you do. You do what you want to do. I have no control of what you do, and I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything in that spectrum of it. Think to yourself. Always think to yourself, you mean to tell me after 4 years, after 2 DOJs, not one person was arrested? Not one? Sure. So do you really think it's going to happen in the next, I don't know, 14 days? No, it's not. And like I've said so many times before, they would rather implode the house of cards than to have one of their own incarcerated. Does that make sense? They have been what? Really pushing that we need to have, okay, let me give you one scenario. Okay, there is one scenario I want to give you. One scenario I did want to give you. Because the big 5-7, we monitor that all the time. Because the big 5-7, this is what I believe will happen at one point for sure. Though there's going to be a crescendo. In other words, the situation at the Capitol, you're going to be able to watch that for sure. You see that. Yep. You are going to be able to. So that's going to be live, videotaped live. You know what I mean? The greatest show on earth. And once that happens now, it's going to fire everybody up with the social media platforms that are available. Everybody's going to be glued. Every bit of information on the radio. I mean, people aren't going to be able to sit still over it. At a certain point in time, the power will in fact be lost all over the world, all at the same time. Yep. And guess where it's going to drive you? Right to your phone. You're going to have your nose right in your phone the whole time, knowing that charge on there is good for maybe what, 6 hours, 8 hours. Some of them are 10 hours. Some of you recharge with solar, whatever the hell. It doesn't even matter. They're going to know you're going to have your nose in your phone. Okay, so you keep that in mind, because the big 5-7 incorporation with your phone. Go ahead and look at the Air Force report on wave that was conducted in 1994. I want you to. And people laugh at me at what I just said, and you know the information already about the molecules, the air particles, and the moisture. True statement. So if I can come on here and go live on the 25th, I'll be shocked. I hope I can. I'm going to put it that way. I hope I can. 24 is X. What is the, can somebody look it up? Can somebody verify that? Yes, that's exactly what it is, because it'd be WX, right? W is 23, X is 24. About the what? So all of what? High pitch frequency. Right, exactly. So what I'm saying is, it's all about the rhythm. It's about the frequency. It's about the heart. If you, whether you're male, female, something in between, whether you're, young adult, middle age, or elderly, you have your rhythm. When you get excited or angry or scared, your heart goes faster. Can't help it. It's just, it's automatic, right? It's part of what happens when you get excited or angry, or just happens that way. Be aware of the illusion. If you can go like this and you just go right through it, you just went right through a hologram. Why? How could you be afraid of that? You just laugh at it. Sorry. See what I mean? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You might want to keep it in mind too if you get any snow or precipitation. That as well. Just want to keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. So, yeah, that's right. That's what I understand. They're up north. They've done studies on that. So, true. So what I'm just trying to say is, seeing that you have the Bible Belt, which is quite large, and it is quite large, try to imagine the powers that be, how terrified they would be of you. We're talking Japan would not step foot on our land. No, they wouldn't. Nope, sure wouldn't. Well, why not? Well, if they did, well, behind every blade of grass, that's what the colonel said, right? So try to imagine the powers that be, how uptight they would be if they knew that you knew that nothing was going to be done ever. And your entire life changed because of what? An illusion. I don't think people put up with that, do you? I don't think they. So how are they going to get you? Electronically. You're going to use the big 5-7 and other things too. Yeah, believe me, it's going to be quite the show. Watch and see. You'll see. You'll see. So, does anybody have any questions? Or, if you think I'm nuts, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's not the only video I've put up like this before. It's just, you know what? I'm going to ask my very dear friend up north of 49, up north of the 49. Do you agree with the investigation or not? Because I know you're going to tell me publicly in front of everybody, and I want you to. Do you agree that it's right? I think it's right, for sure. What happens to birds when they test the big 5-7? Well, a lot of them fall out of the sky. You agree 100%. It is sound. Yes, it is sound. This Frank, this whole thing reverts back to Frank, that guy, the Godfather. Wasn't there a movie called The Godfather? And wait a minute, wasn't there another show called The Sopranos? And at the end of The Sopranos, you never knew what happened. You just knew a door opened, somebody walks in, but you didn't see that the person is gone. Wasn't that in The Sopranos? I thought it was. So you were always on the edge. You didn't know. You didn't quite know. Isn't that the darndest thing? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Tomorrow is the 12th. So let's see, where would that put us on the numeric spectrum? That'd give us our 13. So it's not, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. What was that? Check out the what? Gematria for, hold on a second. Let me look. Let me look. 999. Oh, really? Wow, that's interesting. Monograph. FDR implementing the New Deal. Yeah, I remember that. Do you know what the New Deal was about? Does anybody in the yes, it was. That's right. Does anybody know what the New Deal was all about? Does anybody know? The New Deal. Oh, yeah, it was a deal, all right. Oh, man. Boy, was that a deal. Pretty much there, Joey, in that area. No, it wasn't about that there, LGD, but if you want to play that game, you'll be booted out of here in no time, buddy, I swear. Right? What is that? All right. Hold on a second. Let's go sit in the internet corner. Off you go. Toodles. See how that works? That's how that works. Off you go. No. The New Deal. So what's going to happen is essentially is whether you like it or not, the United States, depending on who makes it to the other side, rather, so to speak, is going to have their first female president, which will be Harris. Mm-hmm. After all this, whatever. If it even gets that far. There's so many different scenarios that I can think of. I don't want to really get into all of them because they're quite unnerving. Jekyll Island. So again, if I can get up here and do a live show on the 25th, I will never, ever, you know what? I'll make a promise with you on this. If absolutely nothing goes down, nothing happens with the Capitol at all, right? And it's just nothing. And I can get up here on the 25th of January. I will delete every type video I ever put up on topics like this. I'll never do another one ever again. And I'll just stick with story times, and we'll just do snack chats, right? Room raids, just have fun. That's all. And I'll never talk about any of these topics ever again. Never. Never. Because I hope I'm wrong. I'm praying I'm wrong. For real. Whew. Yep. I mean, try to imagine how quickly our entire, it's the illusion now. Here it is. It's all illusion. For real. Look how quickly this whole thing has spiraled out of control. And it has. Absolutely out of control. For sure. In the last 4 days. I mean, it's out of this world. It's not your father's country. It's crazy. And the people I feel really bad for. Exactly. The people I feel really bad for is the people that are alone. They don't have a wife or sweetheart or You know, they don't have any family members around them. They're just, you know, there wherever they are. That's feel bad for those people. You know. But you know what? You know, it'd be really neat. You know, it'd be really neat. An exercise. I was talking to another buddy today. I said, you know, what'd be kind of cool is if we could do an exercise collectively as individuals. Because whether you believe me or not, we're all on the same Wi-Fi system, technically. I mean, I could think of something, or, you know, be doing a video about something and hold up a spoon at 1 minute and 32 seconds, and somewhere on the other side of the world, somebody else just happened to hold up a spoon at the exact same time I did, when they're 3,000 miles away. It's possible. But there's a way you can communicate. Mothers are the best of it, you know, with their sons and daughters. They can communicate with them 3,000 miles away. It's called telepathy. Happens all the time. So we know that's possible. But wouldn't it be kind of cool if you could get so many minds together, and you just got to truly focus on a direction or an area or whatever that may interrupt this. Can you imagine the powers that be planning this for 30 years? Again, don't forget the construction that was done at the Capitol. I keep reminding you, don't forget that. That's really important in the coming days. Don't forget. Don't forget the scaffolding that the T-Man had taken down because he didn't like the appearance of it, of him being sworn in. Don't forget. That's crucial. So maybe if enough people, and you don't even have to have skills. You don't even have to go into this thing of, I believe. You don't even have to do that. All it takes is just a little bit of concentration for the higher good. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what religion you are. You don't even have to be religious at all. You just focus on what to try to get done. And with enough focus, you could put out the fuse. Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be? These dudes would set this all up for 50 years, 40 years, whatever the hell it would be. And at the time when everything was supposed to go boom, 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 it didn't go boom, boom, boom. Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be? Oh, man. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's about it. That's right. Fear is a mind. It's a mind manipulator. If you know, if it's possible to not have fear, I don't know if it's possible, but if you just, you know, if you're really in touch and you're just really confident that you're just going to handle whatever you're going to handle, if you get my meaning. There has been an indication that, here we go again, somehow, some way. Okay, let me tell you something this right now. Not that it probably means anything, but maybe it will. Maybe some other investigator came across this information at the beginning. When I first started looking into the Wuhan Wiggle, you know, the first thing I came across of, it was so strange. I couldn't figure out how one had something to do with the other. Plumbing, pipes, sewage. So strange, man. I was like, what the heck is this all about? Then I started going in a direction. And I was like, this doesn't even make sense. Why is it even associated? Couldn't figure it out. But then, when the big T-Man signed the Storm Act, I read it. I was like, oh, makes sense now. They're going after the water. Somehow they're going to use the water in such an advantageous way. They're going to use the water as a weapon somehow. Yep. Pretty confident. If you read the Storm Act that was just signed by the T-Man on January 1st of this year, and knowing that information, because I got a good memory, I was like, wow, can you imagine? And here's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. I think somebody, well, actually, they just said or something like that. But did you notice the dude that supposedly went in there with the horns and the little raccoon tails? Did you notice that? I think his name was Jake, and his last name, they said that it was Angeli. Did you notice that? And then when people really looked into it, that wasn't his name. It was something else, like Clumsy or something. But they presented it as Angeli, like angel, like angel eye. You got me? And this is what I'm thinking of. Absolutely, I know it was a stage name, but listen, when you try to think of all of the different things, let's go through them. Like seal, you got a seal that's in the water. You got a seal that would be a seal that you'd put on an envelope. Then you got another seal where you'd seal the windows shut. You see, it sounds the same, spelled the same, but it depends on the context. So here you have Angeli. I guess that's what it was. So, but if you break it down, it would be angel eye. Does it mean angel eye? Right? Could be. So that's how I think of these things, because I know all the little silly games, not all of them, but a lot of them, the games that these light lords play with their little words. And well, Mr. Hubbard, he taught me a lot about the numbers. I got to give him credit on that one. He opened my eyes in 2016. You know what I mean? But I tried to open his eyes with sight. Didn't work. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Angel eye. Exactly. Because when you think of what have we been hearing of forever, ladies and gentlemen, we've been hearing of AI. How do we know that AI doesn't stand for angel eye? We don't. So here's the thing. Let me give you a scenario. You hear this rumbling, something's going on. You feel like you think it's an earthquake is going on. There's some rumbling and shaking and who knows what. Okay. Let's advance to, let's say the 18th. Yeah, let's go to that date. Well, there's another. Does everybody know what BLM stands for? Does everybody know what it stands for in U.S. government talk? It stands for Bureau of Land Management. That's what it stands for. Isn't that the weirdest thing? So let's just say that your earth around you is just shaking around for you don't even know why. And then you got all this sound everywhere. Huge sounds, man. And you think it's all real. And then you start seeing things. And then you have little excitement with mist or fog or, moisture or rain or snow or pick something or your sewage, whatever the heck it would be. And then you think you're seeing what you're seeing, but you're not seeing it because it'd be a hologram. And then what do you do next? You absolutely, lose it. You lose it. You absolutely lose control and flip out and who knows what. I'm just giving you a scenario. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying. Well, and then you walk outside and then who do you see? You see what you believe is your Lord. You're like, whoa. And then suddenly whatever you're seeing turns into something else that maybe you're afraid of because you decided to make a post on Facebook about what you're afraid of. Or, you were telling somebody in a conversation while your computer and your phone were listening to you for real. And taking all that data and then comprising the data, extracting the data, analyzing the data, and storing the data indefinitely at the NSA. And then you get the Palantir. Everybody's been onioned out with everybody. They know this one knows that one, whatever. So they already know everything about you. They can go through all your searches In other words, Google knows more about you than your mama does. For real. What you're looking at, you know, or whatever. What you're searching for. The videos you're watching. The songs you listen to. They know. Try to imagine that. Big old babysitter. So they know every last detail about you, or by the demographics or age or whatever you got going on. So you could use that with that information. You could turn right back around and use it literally as an illusionary weapon. Yes, you could. And it would work as long as you had the sound. The sound is the key. Without the sound, your effect is not going to be very good. You might get a couple of people, but there's no sound. I'll be like, well, what is that? But if you have the sound and you have the shaking and who knows what's going on, you're going to be all flipped out. But if you can really think and concentrate, male, female, something in between, young, middle, you know, young adult, middle age, elderly, if you have in your mind, nobody's just an illusion. You're afraid of you. It's just an illusion. You're going to probably make it. You're gonna have the advantage over the next guy. The problem is you're going to have to worry about what the next guy is going to do. So see that you're going to still have to be in that mode where this part's not an illusion. See what I mean? You gotta be very well aware of that. There's another scenario too that could happen. That would deal with light, and I'm sure you can figure it out. But, you know, if you look at light that is so bright, emitting is called blue light, actually. Blue light comes from your laptops. It comes from your iPads. It comes from your cell phones. It comes from your desktops. It's called blue light. It's the real thing. That can slowly blind you. But if there's a significant amount of blue light, it would be overwhelming. I don't know the effects because I don't know. I can guess. Because, you know, again, if you're blinded by the light, like literally, then you're going to be extremely vulnerable to the elements all around you. Okay? That's not a lie. So what would you have to worry about in that instance? Well, you'd have to worry about your pets. Yeah, you would. Because, you know, your pets at a certain point in time, if they're agitated, they're going to sense something's going on. And their fear may multiply. And you thought you had them tamed, and maybe you don't, if you get my meaning. I'm just saying, man, you got to be prepared for everything. And this, in my opinion, or hold on a second. Here's another scenario I've been thinking about. I'm not saying any of this. These are just thoughts. They're just thoughts, Algo. They're just thoughts. Or here's another scenario. You have a little participation. Excuse me. You have a little bit of rain. I'm sorry. Not participation. You guys are participating now. You have a bit of precipitation, like rain or snow or sleet or hail or whatever the hell it would be. And there'd be mist or fog or pick something would be in the air. And who knows the amount of whatever would be in the air that may manipulate the mind. And for you to go, who knows where, get your metal detector and take yourself out, but not to lunch. That's a possibility too. Because there are certain psychedelic pharmaceutical drugs that if you take them, you feel like that you won't take yourself out, but not to lunch. Those type of pharmaceutical drugs exist right now. And you know they do. And you know I'm not lying. So that's another thing you got to consider. Let me, yeah, it could be anything. Could be anything like that. And look at Twitter. Why was Twitter so successful? A little birdie told me. See how that works? A little birdie. So that little birdie turned around and somehow, some way, defied the laws of liberty and said, you know, We don't need the big T man here anymore. Well, why didn't the big T man go to whitehouse.gov and set up a messaging system there? That's ran by the government, the DOD to be exact. Why not? Because it all goes back to Frank, the godfather of liberalism, what he started out with. And he was real pals with real good pals, fantastic pals. Matter of fact, remember we talked about Janice? Oh, you talk about Two-Face. Oh, you're right about that. Because all these rallies, you got to remember, I'm libertarian, so I have no loyalty to either party. But you know this to be a fact. When he was running the first time around, all of you guys are shouting, lock her up, lock her up. Are you aware that shortly after he was elected, he had a big old party? Actually, that's on video too. And he's talking about what a wonderful person she is. Great friend. Had her stand up. Everybody gave a standing ovation. That's a Two-Face right there, is it not? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Guaranteed fact. So isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic that the very person that all these people entrusted has turned right back around and is about to do some rotten stuff, buddy? Just beyond belief. But hey, you're all buddies. All of them are buddies. Yeah, they are. Matter of fact, it was trending on tweeters today that Pelosi loves Trump. Did you see the picture? They're all real pals. Of course they are. Here's the thing. Do I think it's going to be the end of, the earth? No. Why not? Well, because a couple of weeks ago, guess what they did? They placed water in the commodities. What does that mean? That means in the future, people will be able to speculate on water just like they did with oil. That's a big deal. That means in the future, they're going to be making money on the water. True story. Why is another reason I believe that the world or the earth is not just going to, go away is, well, because of another reason. Billy Goats and his pals, the Manhattan Project governors, that's what they call themselves, or group rather, I'm sorry, but they call themselves governors too. And that is comprised of about 10 to 12 billionaires. They have decided that they are going to somehow, some way, use nanotechnology in you on the blockchain. Remember we talked about the chain with the elephants and that? They're talking about linking this, linking this, linking that, linking that. See how that works? You got Lincoln Park. Then you got Lincoln, the kind of car you drive. Then you got Abe Lincoln. Then you got Lincoln up there in Canada, right? In the ocean up there. The Lincoln Strait, I think it's called. It depends on the context of what you're talking about. Isn't that strange? Yeah. Very strange. Very, very, very strange. Oh, look at the time. You know what? We're going to have to get on out of here because I don't want to go after 2 hours. Thank you very much, Mark. Listen, I really hope that because I like hopium. Hopium is really horrible. This stuff is totally out of my hands. The reason why I decided to share the information with you is because I know damn good and well old creepy out there could just come storming in here and say, you know what, we about had it with you, buddy. Off you go. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Who cares? Doesn't even matter. The main thing is hopefully people just won't panic. Hopefully nobody panics. You know what I mean? There's a lot of you cats out here are really my pals. I wouldn't want anything to happen to you or your families. Absolutely not. Especially a bunch of nobodies. Come on, man. It's just not right. It's not right on so many levels. Yeah, we need a miracle. We do. We do. But here's the thing. There's another thing. Before I end out of here, I'll end this thing in about 1 hour and 50 minutes. Here's the thing I just want to be sure that you get. And that is, you're not overwhelmed. The illusion that you're overwhelmed is that you're overwhelmed, but you're not. You're not. Do you truly believe 68 million Americans were over there with Sloppy Joe? Come on, get a grip. Well, we saw his attendance. It was ridiculous. It was pathetic. Listen, when you got to hire homeless people, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. So what am I saying, that there's a chance that the big T-man is going to save the day? There is a chance, but it's 0.3%. It's 0.03%. That's the percentage. When he came up there and burped out of his mouth in front of God and everybody, that there is a 99.7% survivability rate. Let's think about that. Is he talking about the Wuhan wiggle, or is he talking about the people that need to go to the Ozarks or to DA that might need to take a little vacation for a couple of weeks and all, while everybody upstairs has to deal with other issues? And then they'll come back up at the given time in cooperation with the satellites above and the satellites below, intercepting information, going to NORAD or wherever it goes, right? All the other countries would do the same. This brings me back to who? Georgia Guidestones. There are 188 countries participating in this menagerie that was stated by the T-man himself. There are 196 countries all over the earth. 188 are participating in this menagerie that we're sitting here with the Wuhan wiggle, the whole 9 yards, the sleeve and all the garbage. So let's do the math. Over there at the Georgia Guidestones, it states that 500 million population worldwide. That's what it states. True story. That the Georgia Guidestones, if I'm not mistaken, was completed in 1980. I need somebody to confirm that for me. At 49, is that correct or is that not correct? Was it not completed? Some confirmation. Is that right? 49, do you know? When was the Georgia Guide? Was it 1980? 500 million. Yeah, 500 million worldwide. March 22nd, okay, but when? Was it 1980? 1980, that's right. There's another 8. See how that works? There's your 8. Okay, so that the completion was on, it was March 22nd. Well, wouldn't that be your 322 Skull and Bones? Yes, it would be. Isn't that amazing? I'm sure it's just one big fat quinky ding. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. So what I want you to try to think about, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Try to think about this. You have 188 countries. And if you remember Gustav, the way he was acting, he was all jittery. He's like, oh, we gotta get going. We gotta get going. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Come on, let's do it. And they're inoculating all these people all over the planet. Europe, right? Parts of Africa. You got Canada, of course, Mexico, or the whatever. And so if you took, let's say, 2.5 million people, here's your 500 million people right there, right? Wouldn't be hard to do. And all those countries would essentially have their own bunker networks. I'm sure they all do. Or for Russia, Russia would deal with the Baltics, right? Maybe deal with Poland, Lithuania, you know, certain countries, Georgia, whatever, okay? And they would bring those people into their tolling system. And then they just turn off the power and it'd be like this. And then next thing you know, you can't see anything or forever. And then next thing you know, your pets, your loyal pets are having lunch on you. I'm just giving you a hypothetical scenario. This is just hypothetical. But that makes sense to me now. It does make sense to me because, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm not mistaken, I wish I had IntelliHub here, Shep, good friend of mine. Shep, if you see this video, isn't those liners, if you get my meaning, starts with a C, ends with an S, isn't those liners located in Athens, Georgia? I thought they were. You know, by the hundreds of thousands. They had these liners for coffins or something. Thought they were, pretty sure. So what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is what I'm trying to say to you is this is going to be quite the thing. It's going to be. This is certainly the end of our country as we've ever known it. And we're going to find out real quick what's going on. The main thing is try not to panic. You're gonna make it a lot longer if you don't. And for all the men in here, you're gonna have to be, and the women, you're gonna have to do things you would not normally do. You're gonna have to. If it goes in that direction, you're gonna have to step up to the plate and really get busy, for real. You got me? And that's horrible. Who wants to fight with their neighbor? I don't want to fight with my neighbor. So let me go ahead and make my thank yous. Thanks for all the people who hooked me up with the donos. You know, I hope all this stuff just doesn't pan out the direction. Watch the Capitol. Watch the Capitol. Watch the Capitol. For real. Okay? You got to know to yourself that there's no way that some dude, like some, you know, whatever they're calling us, or calling you or me or whoever, there's no way that some dude could pull something like that off by, you know, setting down a suitcase somewhere, hogwash, have security there, right? Exactly. So get that out of your mind. That would be impossible. Okay. So anyway, for all the people who hooked me up with the donos, I truly appreciate it. This is just a thought video again. And whoever you get right with them. And we'll see what's going to happen. It's the greatest show on earth. Keep that in mind. Think of all the little possibilities. And if you can, just don't panic, man. You're going to last longer if you don't. And thanks for the mods in here, the Mighty Buffoons and 49, Miss Tree. I don't know if Mass One was here or not. Thanks a lot for providing cover for my room from the Trolltards and Spammers. And then for everybody else in the chat log that decided to take a look at the information, I appreciate y'all too, because, you know, who am I? I'm nobody still. So, you know what? We'll see what happens next. We certainly will. I'm monographing if you can't speak freely or simply not free.